This is Rico Block. I have with me number 96,
Yes, sir.
Kip Castana. He's the kicker for Fort Lewis, and you're a junior here at Fort Lewis.
Yep.
And what brought you to Fort Lewis?
Well, I came here my freshman year to play football, obviously, but I picked Durango because of the ski resort. I love to snowboard, so getting close to that season. So that's what really brought me here.
And did you kick in high school also?
Yes, I played soccer also, so I really didn't go to practice in high school. I just went to the football games and kicked, and that was pretty much it. So.
And what are you studying here at Fort Lewis?
I'm studying physical education K through 12. I just changed last semester, so pretty excited about that.
So you want to be a teacher?
Yeah, PE teacher. I want to work with elementary kids.
Okay.
So.
And I got to talk about the game-winning field goal 2 weeks ago. I mean, you had one last week, which was great. I want to talk about the one 2 weeks ago. And that one was with no time left on the clock. And then you're lining up to kick the field goal. And what was going through your mind at that point?
All I kept thinking was just keep your head down and follow through. That's all I kept repeating to myself, and make sure I wait just a little bit longer on the snap, just in case it was bad or something. And that split second was just enough to give me enough time to for Bono to readjust the ball and make the field goal.
So before you kicked the field goal, though, were your teammates saying anything to you, or were they just letting you be by yourself?
Well, yeah, everybody was coming towards me and talking to me, and then Coach Riff pulled me aside from everybody, and he kind of just talked me through it, and no pressure. I mean, so that really helped me out. So
you're lining up for the field goal, and all of a sudden there's a penalty.
Yeah.
So did that disrupt what you were thinking?
I mean,
concentrating?
I was not. I thought we were gonna move back 5 yards, so I was like, oh geez, we gotta readjust now, my angle and everything. But luckily it was up 5 yards, so I mean it kind of threw off my concentration, but it was lucky close enough.
And then the snap was a little bit bobbled.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was just, oh man, I didn't even know what was going through my mind. But luckily Bono did a good job of getting it up just enough to let me do what I have to do. So.
And what'd you feel like after you kicked that field goal?
I mean, I can't describe it. It was awesome. I know all these guys work 10 times harder than we do, but when it comes down to it, we have a job to do, and I'm glad I can give the seniors a win against Adams State.
And then you got to go over and lead the team in the cheer to the crowd. How'd that feel?
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm a pretty quiet guy, and just to step up in front of the whole team and lead them, it was definitely special.
One last question. What's been your impression of the season so far?
It has been awesome. Coach Smith is doing a great job, and I love the kids that were around, and it's been a great atmosphere around here. It's been awesome.
Hopefully you won't have to kick another game-winning field goal this week, right?
Yeah, I'm down with extra points. If we can score touchdowns, I'll be happy with extra points.
And what's the furthest you've ever kicked?
In a game, it's been 43 yards. I think it was last game. So.
And how about just in practice?
63.
63?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck. Hopefully you won't have to do that this week.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. This is Rico Block, and I have with me Kip Castana, the kicker for Fort Lewis College. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Visit the scenic town of Silverton and take a Jeep tour through the heart of the majestic San Juan Mountains with San Juan Backcountry Tours. Visitors can get behind the wheel and explore the mountain roads on their own, or sit back on guided tours that take you through the rich history of the area, including the ghost town Animas Forks. You can rent a Jeep, ATV, dirt bike, or we can take you on a guided tour in one of our open-top Suburbans. Enjoy the spectacular scenery from 9,000 feet all the way to 13,000 feet in elevation. The San Juans have many scenic routes and four-wheel drive passes to explore, and our experienced staff can provide maps and suggest the best routes to get you where you want to go. We guarantee you a fun and memorable experience. Come explore the historic sights and beautiful scenery of the San Juan Mountains at San Juan Backcountry Tours.
You're watching Inside Durango TV on Cable Channel 15.
This is Rico Block with IDTV, and I have with me Coach Smith, the head coach of Fort Lewis College. And Coach, I don't want to spend a lot of time on last week's game. It had to be a little bit disappointing turnovers in the end zone, red zone, which sort of turned the tide of the game, I thought.
Well, it's kind of been the story of our year, to be honest with you. You know, we moved the ball up and down the field. I thought we showed marked improvement during the week, and we got in the game, and we're moving the ball up and down the field. We get inside the 20 a couple times and threw a couple in the end zone that we shouldn't have thrown. Again, and we kick ourselves in the tail as far as coaches and say that we have to do a better job of coaching those kids to make sure that we know that we have to throw the ball away and don't take chances like we did do. So I was proud of our offense from the standpoint we picked things up better, we blocked better, we executed between the 20s better, but then down inside the 20 we faltered again and didn't get it done. But, you know, you look back at that game and I look at the 5 or 6 or 7 big plays that really end up deciding a football game, and it's a game that we very easily could have won. We just are not quite executing the way we should and can and need to end up winning, particularly against a team that is as good as they are, and they're a good football team. But again, you look back and say, doggone it, we kick ourselves in the tail and think we should have won that one.
Well, certainly in the booth it looked like you had opportunities.
We did.
Unfortunate, but this week we're on to Black Hill State. And
right.
Before we talk about that, I just want to ask you about the season, because this is the last game of the season. And just take a second to reflect back on where you were when you first came and where you're at now, because it seems like the team has really vastly stepped up.
Well, I think they have, and I think we've bonded as a team. We've come together more now than we were early on in the season, without a doubt. Now, we're without some guys, you know, and we've been hit with the injury bug, just like everybody does get at this time of year. And so being without those players, other guys have stepped in and stepped up, and we're kind of a ragtag group right now. But the good thing about it is I think we believe in each other and want to play for each other and have a good attitude about ourselves. So that part has been good. So I look at the season and say, you know, yes, we've won 4, but we need one more. And we need this one, particularly for those young men that are leaving our program. This is their last game at home, the last time they get to walk on that field, put on the blue and gold. So it's a special deal for those kids. And I expect every one of our underclassmen to step up and play his hardest, because I try to relate to them that there's going to be a day that you're going to be in that kid's shoes and you're going to expect that younger guy to step up and play for you. So we're going to go out and we're going to play our hardest, and we've got to get another win.
Looking back on the season, is there anything that you would do differently than what you did, or changes that you would make, or were you satisfied with, I know not with the season overall, but were you satisfied with the progress you made? Well,
I think we made progress, yes. And as a coach, you know, I come back and I look at the video, and you know, some of our coaches will say, well, you know, coach, we're maybe not as good as these guys, or you know, we've made a lot of improvement over where we were a year ago, but none of that is good enough. I can't handle that. We need more wins. We need to get better. I always look at it, say, what could we have done as coaches to make us better, to make sure that we got a win? And you know, we just have to continue to coach harder. We have to keep drumming it in our guys' heads to focus better. We have to become better teachers to make sure that it gets there. So those 4, 5, 6 plays, whatever it is, that we're not making mistakes. So I look at it from a standpoint of we've got to coach harder, we've got to coach better, and we've got to get it across to the young men so they understand it and then can take it to the field. So I look at us, and I'm not satisfied from a coaching standpoint, but maybe if we get one more win, I'll be a little bit more satisfied.
How close are you, and what changes do you have to make in order to get to the next?
Well, I think we have a lot of kids coming back, and that's a good thing, of course. You know, so we've got to get out and we've got to get some recruiting done. There has to be basically a reconstruction go on, in my opinion. The kids, when we have some real good ones coming back, you know, our best linebacker right now is redshirting, and our best strong safety is redshirting, and probably our best defensive lineman is redshirting. So we've got some building blocks there, but we've got to get out and recruit. And what I really believe is this, is that that we have to get out and reestablish ourselves in Colorado. And I really believe that the Adams State, Western is a help, but the Adams State win will allow us to go in and sit down and recruit some Colorado guys. We've got to get Colorado blood back in this program, and so that's our first belief, and then go elsewhere.
What are the priorities?
Recruiting, number one. Yeah, recruiting is prime right now.
Any position in particular?
The entire team. Yeah, I think we're going to be solid. We're going to take some young guys now. We took guys last year, junior college players, double transfers, those type guys. We've got to go establish some young guys and get that foundation coming in. And that's where I think the Colorado kids come in. And so to begin with, a little bit of young everywhere, and then hopefully we can find 4 or 5 real legit guys, maybe double transfers or junior college players.
Black Hill State, last game of the season. What should we look for today with Black Hill State?
Well, again, they're a football team that is somewhat similar to us as far as I think our capabilities are similar as far as athleticism. They're going to spread the ball. They're going to throw it. Their quarterback's a good player. The good thing is they've been able to put up some points. The good thing is everybody's been able to put up a lot more. So they're giving up a lot. So from a standpoint of our offense matching up against their defense, I think that's good. And I really believe that our defense can control their offense. So I'm looking forward to a win today.
Hopefully we'll have a big crowd out there.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Coach. This is Rick O'Block with IDTV. Be sure to tune in following this interview for the game with Black Hill State.
It's full steam ahead at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Enjoy a historic trip through southwest Colorado's rich scenery with daily train excursions through the spectacular San Juan Mountains. See the world-famous 400-foot drop at the High Line. Relax as you chug along the Upper Animas River and spend an afternoon in the historic mining town of Silverton. Stop by the depot or call 247-2733. Get more information on our website at durangotrain.com.
Whether you make your plans over a barbed wire fence or over wireless internet, if you're coming from the stockyard or the stock exchange, Durango is right at home at the Diamond Bell, timeless and timely.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more, so Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
You're watching Inside Durango TV on Cable Channel 15.
Find the ball!
Lardo's kick flies through the back of the end zone. The Yellow Jackets start off 1st and 10, ball at their own 25-yard line. 25.
You have to go read up on Uh-oh.
Anderson with the quarterback keeper. Gain of 13 yards on the play, good for a Yellow Jackets first down. Nielsen on the carry, no gain on the play. Tackle made by number 58, Dalton Lane. Brings up second down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Anderson's pass gets knocked down by number 35, Ryan Ross. Brings up third down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
Oh no! You guys! Oh.
Ward Anderson with the quarterback keeper. Gain of 11 on the play, good for another Yellow Jackets first down. Nielsen on the carry, loss of yards on the play. Tackle made by number 25, Jake Faust. Brings up second down and 12 for the Yellow Jackets, their own 47-yard line. Anderson's pass broken up by number 2, Jamal Campbell. Intended for number 5, and long. Brings up third down and 12.
There's Rick.
Anderson's pass complete to number 18, Anthony Eberron. Short gain on the play, brings up fourth down for the Yellow Jackets.
I know. What are you doing? Pushing the ice and snow off?
Bankston back to punt for the Yellow Jackets. Campbell calls for the fair catch.
From the 11-yard line. Score 0-0, 12-15 here in the first quarter. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out as the quarterback today, as last week the starter Jordan Doyle was benched, then brought back in and then benched again. He's going to start the game out at quarterback for Fort Lewis. Number 3. That's Amory Duncan in the backfield with Jordan Doyle. There's a snap, two-step drop. He's going to scramble into his own end zone. Dangerous move by Jordan. He's going to pass a 10, 15 out to the 20. He's going to have enough for a first down, and that'll move the chains. So Fort Lewis will have first down and 10 from the 21. As that was a great scramble by Jordan Doyle, the left-handed quarterback. 12:06 left here in the first quarter. 0-0 is the score. Bodie and Holt, twins to the far side. Berryhill, the tight end. There's the pass completed to number 80. That's Bodie. It's gonna be enough for a first down. So we're not using this anymore, right? Or we are? There's a quick pass out to Nova Hardy. He's going to have enough of the first down and more as he picks up 23 yards and a first down. First down and 10 for Fort Lewis from the 49-yard line. Bodie goes into motion, handoff. Bodie's got plenty of room to run. He's going to cross the 40 into the 35.
So Bodie on the carry. That rush good for another Skyhawk first down. Pass complete to number 85, Drew Berryhill. Gain of 12 on the play, good for another Skyhawk first down. Duncan on the carry. Gain of 5 on the play brings up second down and 5 for the Skyhawks.
Oh.
The pass complete to number 3, Amory Duncan. Gain of 2 on the play brings up third down and 3. Ball spotted at the Yellow Jackets 11-yard line.
All right, come on! All right! Woo!
The Sandals' extra point is good. An 11-yard touchdown reception by number 19, Nova Hardy.
When we come back, we'll have first down and 10 here for Black Hills State. You're on 9:30 a.m., your ESPN radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Fans, don't forget to buy your 50-50 raffle ticket. The winning ticket will be selected in the third quarter. Also, be sure to fill out your entry form to compete in the First National Bank of Durango field goal contest. One lucky winner will be selected at halftime to kick a 35-yard field goal for a chance to win $400 from First National Bank of Durango.
Black Hills in their Kelly green uniforms with white and gold trim. There's a handoff to the running back. He's going to barrel forward. He's close to a first down, doesn't have it. It's going to bring up third down and 1 from the 34-yard line.
Third down and 1, and really the strength of Black Hills State is their passing game. And on the first series, they weren't able to do anything with that. The second series, they're trying to use the run a little more. Their leading rusher is their quarterback, Ward Anderson. He only averages 36 yards a game, so you can see that they are not a running team. So that's going to bode well for Fort Lewis today.
Shotgun formation for Black Hills. Fort Lewis is going to blitz, and they're going to pick up a first down plus some. So that'll move the chains for the Kelly Green Black Hills State, and they are getting right back to the line of scrimmage. Their starting quarterback, I apologize, it got me.
Like I said, he's our leading rusher, averaging 36 yards a game.
Anderson's pass total is incomplete. Intended for number 87, Luke Whalen. Flags on the field.
All wide receivers, and Rick, Fort Lewis's defense has gone up against a couple of very tall and athletic wide receivers in the last 3 weeks.
Well, the RMAC conference, they're basically built around the pass, not the run, and we can see that in this team also. They're averaging over 262 yards a game passing, but the quarterback has 16 interceptions, so he's vulnerable to make some bad decisions, something that's sort of haunted Fort Lewis this season also.
Anderson in shotgun formation. He's got 2 receivers to each side of the field. He hands off to his running back. That's number 2, Drew Nielsen. And Nielsen's going to pick up 2 yards. There was I believe, a illegal shift penalty that took him back 5 yards, Rick, so it's second down and 14.
Second down and 14, and both Broderick Sargent and Joey Alvarez in on that tackle. And again, Albert, we've been calling their number all season long, and they're already starting out this game the same way.
Anderson's going to scramble as the pocket collapsed, and he is going to be brought down in a sack by number 29, one of our favorite players, Sargent.
Broderick Sargent, and we just called his number on the last play. Here he is again, causing a sack on that play, and it's going to be third down and 16 from the 37, 7-0 to Fort Lewis is ahead. 7:02 left in the first quarter.
It is cloudy. It just got done raining, so the field is a little messy. Anderson gets a snap, 2-step drop. He throws it across the middle, completed to number 31. That's Ron Holtz. He is close to a first down, Rick. He took a big shot by the safety, number 2, at the end of that play. That's Jamal Campbell.
Jamal Campbell, and he's one of those seniors today this is their last game, their last home game, their last game in their college football career. We have 17 seniors on the squad today for Fort Lewis, and again, this is their last game of their career here at Fort Lewis, so I'm sure they're all jacked up to make a good showing today.
Black Hills is going to punt it off, and that kick is going to go deep into the end zone as Jamal Campbell changed his mind about returning that. We'll take a quick break and be right back. First down and 10 for Fort Lewis on 9:30 a.m. your ESPN radio for the Four Corners in Durango. Back 5 yards, so first down at 15 from the 15 as Fort Lewis leads this game 7-0 here in the first quarter. 6:04 left on the clock from the quarterback Jordan Doyle connection to number 19 Nova Hardy. And really, Rick, Hardy did not get too many touches last week, and he's one of their rising stars.
Well, he's done a great job since he's been in there. About the last 3 or 4 weeks is when he really started to elevate his game, and great pass from the quarterback to him, and touchdown for Fort Lewis, and we start first down at 15.
There's a pass right across the middle, completed to number 80. That's Doyle Bodie. He would have picked up some more yardage. Excuse me, that's number 88, Aaron Holt, and he would have picked up some more yardage, Rick, but of course the field is starting to get wet. His feet slip out from underneath him.
Yeah, it was a good pickup. I mean, he got 10 yards on that gain, and it was a good pass from Jordan Doyle right to him, and he did a good job of picking up 10 yards on that play, second down and 5.
Anderson goes into motion, quick swing pass to the running back, number 3, that's Amory Duncan. He's got some room. He's going to get the first down, plus some as well. He picks up 15 yards. And Rick, again, this is another play that we've seen Fort Lewis really use in their benefit to gain some big yards, at least in the last 3 to 4 games.
Well, it was interesting because they had 2 wide receivers to the Fort Lewis side of the ball. They fake the bubble screen to them and then throw a little swing pass out to number 3, Emery Duncan. They pick up a first down, first and 10 from the 40-yard line.
Fake handoff to the running back Duncan. Doyle's going to roll out to the near side of the field. Great throw by the left-handed quarterback. That's completed to number 80, Doyle Bodie. Again, Bodie, the leading receiver in Fort Lewis history, makes a great catch.
He makes a great catch, and that was a great throw. That was over the outstretched arms of number 23, Ryan Baldwin, right into the Jordan Doyle did a great job of catching a first down on the 40-yard line of Black Hill State.
Jordan Doyle in the backfield with his running back Duncan behind him. It's going to be a fake handoff to Duncan. He throws the defensive end, and what a nice play that was. As the quarterback Doyle is going to be the recipient, or excuse me, a penalty against Black Hills for a hit out of bounds, and kind of borderline penalty there, but Fort Lewis will definitely take it after the first down run by Doyle.
It was a fake handoff up the middle to the running back, number 3, Emery Duncan, and a great downfield block by number 4, Maurice Anderson, wide receiver, which really opened up the lane for him to run in. He picks up a first down, and then a little tap out of bounds by the defensive back for Black Hill State. They throw that as a penalty, unnecessary roughness. It's on the quarterback hit, and here we are knocking on the door again. First down at the 11-yard line of Black Hill State.
7-0 is a score. Fort Lewis winning this game. A quick pass out to Nova Hardy, trying to make some moves. Touchdown, Fort Lewis. And what a great job that was by number 19. We just can't say enough about this kid.
Well, he's done such a great job, and he's so elusive. He's got great moves, and that's what happened. He did a little spin move about the 5-yard line. A good blocking, I believe it was number 88, Aaron Holt, that opened up the door for him to score. So Fort Lewis is up 16-0 in the first quarter. 4:37 left here in the first quarter. Fort Lewis's offense is looking pretty dialed in right now.
13-0 as our clock guys messing up over here. it squared away. Here is the snap, the hold, the kick is up. It's a beauty and it's through. 14-0 is the score. 4:37 left here in the first quarter. We'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Fans, do you want to win a K2 twin tip quarter light streak? Head on down to the Skyhawks Beer Garden at the south end of the football field. The Beer Garden, presented by A&L Coolers and Events Sports Bar and Grill, will close at the end of the third quarter. Stallings with the touchback. Will be first and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Yellow Jackets.
You bet. The Fort Lewis College Department of Athletics would like to thank the following corporate sponsors: Coca-Cola of Durango, Durango Orthopedic Associates, Mercy Regional Medical Center, Bank of Colorado, and CJ's Diner. Go Skyhawks!
There's a snap, fake handoff, play action. He's got to be pressured. And that ball was tipped in the air and then caught by one of the offensive linemen. And they're going to gain 4 yards. That was a heads-up play by the offensive lineman, Rick, because that ball bounced, ricocheted off 2 or 3 different players.
Yeah, what's going to happen here is it would normally be what they call illegal touching. If an offensive lineman who's not an eligible receiver touches the ball before it touches an eligible receiver, then it's illegal touching. But since it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, that makes all people on the offense an eligible receiver. So no penalty on that play.
There's a snap, handoff to the running back. That's number 2, Nielsen. He's going to pick up 3 yards, so it's going to bring up a manageable 3rd down for Black Hills. Fort Lewis held him last time in the same position, force a punt.
Well, you know, they're not good at running the ball, and that's Fort Lewis's strength. And you know, what we said earlier, they average 262 yards passing, but not very many yards. I think it's barely over 100 yards rushing a game, so that's not their strength. They need to throw the ball to have any success today, and in these kind of conditions where the field's a little moist, slippery, they're going to have a difficult time for sure.
3 receivers to the near side of the field, a single coverage to the top. Number 20 goes into motion. There's a snap handoff, and that goes to the running back, Harrison Dillons, and Fort Lewis holds him. This should force a punt situation for Black Hills, and sure enough, the punt team comes out.
Well, he's not a very big running back. He's only 5'7", 155 pounds, Harrison Dillons, and you know, you got to have some beef back there if you're going for short yardage, and they just didn't have that. And Fort Lewis, again, their defense steps up and holds them to 4th down, and we're going to get the ball back with hopefully some pretty good field position.
Number 2, and number 22 deep to return for Fort Lewis. Number 2, Jamal Campbell. Number 22, that's Thaddeus Brown. 2:42 left on the clock and rolling. Punt nearly blocked. It's going to bounce around the 45, around the 35 to the 30, and it's going to be touched down there. So it'll be 1st down and 10 from the 28 for Fort Lewis. We're going to take one quick break. We'll be right back. 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
1st down and 10 for the Skyhawks.
Full steam ahead at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Enjoy a historic trip through southwest Colorado's rich scenery with daily train excursions through the spectacular San Juan Mountains. See the world-famous 400-foot drop at the High Line, Relax as you chug along the Upper Animas River and spend an afternoon in the historic mining town of Silverton. Stop by the depot or call 247-2733. Get more information on our website at durangotrain.com.
Called him out of bounds. Nonetheless, a great run.
Well, number 88 goes in motion. Aaron Holt, simple handoff from the quarterback, Jordan Doyle, to Aaron Holt. He picks up 9 yards, second down and short. We'll see if they go long here.
The linebacker blitzes, fake handoff. Doyle's got some room to run, and he's going to pick up a first down. He picks up nearly 17 yards. And again, when Jordan Doyle gets going, Rick, this is what he brings to the team. The problem is that sometimes he makes, those simple mistakes in the red zone.
Well, sometimes he makes bad decisions. On that particular play, he made a great decision. He faked it to the running back up the middle of the line. They're only running a 3-man line, so that means the linebackers have to do a good job of filling those holes and stopping the run, and they've not been able to stop the run at all by Fort Lewis so far.
Doyle calls number 4, Maurice Anderson, in motion. That's a handoff to number 16, the running back, Wesley. He picks up 2 yards, so it's going to bring up second down and 8 from the 42-yard line.
Yeah, simple hand up right up the middle. And let's just go over some stats here real quick. I know we've got about 1:17 left, but so far Fort Lewis has picked up about 180 yards of offense in the first quarter, so they've been very productive so far, where Black Hills State has only picked up a total of 52.
There's a snap looking downfield. Doyle has all day long to find somebody open. He's going to tuck it and run it. He just runs out of bounds. And as he does, the cornerback is going to try to put Doyle on a tackle. And Doyle flips the coin on him and runs right over the top of it. What a play that was.
Well, number 22, Michael Oberly, tries to take down Jordan Doyle. Oberly's 5'11", and Jordan Doyle is much larger than that. He's 6'2", 210, and literally Jordan Doyle knocks the cornerback down, and he just stands looking over him. We've got 3rd down and 4 from the 37-yard line of Black Hill State.
Bodie goes into motion. Handoff to number 16, Wesley. He's going to be close to a first down on the second ditched effort, but there is a penalty from the head linesman, and the play was allowed to go on. We're at 36 seconds left in the first quarter, 14-0. Fort Lewis leading this game.
Now it looks like it's going to be offsides on Black Hill State, which is going to give Fort Lewis a first down. And again, those things that have been going against Fort Lewis all season, at least so far in this game with 36 seconds left in the first quarter, it's all Fort Lewis looking good against Black Hill State. And this is a game that they expected to do well in, and so far they are doing exactly that.
To remind you, Skyhawks games on your local cable channel 15 on Sunday, as well as Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. Skyhawks pre-recorded games can be viewed anytime on DurangoTV.com and on cable channel 15 all day Sunday, as well as Tuesdays and Thursday evenings during the Skyhawks fall and winter sports season. There's a snap, handoff to number 16. That's Wesley, and he's just stood up, so they're going to call the pile dead as everybody's still standing on their feet. Gain of 2, so it brings up second down and 8 from the 30.
Fort Lewis had their heavy formation, or 2 tight ends in on that with a single back. DeJuan Wesley, that's the end of the first quarter, and we'll get to more statistics when we get back from this commercial break.
On 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
At the Holiday Inn, Coca-Cola and Coors products are also available. The hospitality area is free for members of the Skyhawk Athletic Association who have purchased hospitality passes.
Our guy, there was a Western
He was sitting on your side, talking smack. The Western people that were sitting on your side talking
The start of the second quarter is brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad.
The score is 14-0 here at the beginning of the second quarter. So far, Albert, Fort Lewis is looking great.
DeJuan Wesley in the backfield, lined up behind his quarterback, Jordan Doyle. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. There's a snap. Fake handoff to Wesley. Doyle's going to keep it. He gets his feet tripped up. He's able to keep his balance to gain a few more yards. And that's going to be close to a first down. It's going to be short, so it brings up 3rd down and 2.
3rd down and 2 for Fort Lewis, and they're doing a good job today. Jordan Doyle's doing a good job of recognizing should he hand the ball off or should he keep it himself. And there's been 3 or 4 plays where he's just done an outstanding job of identifying that and keeping the ball. He's leading with 16 yards per carry at this point.
There's a snap, quick throw completed to number 4, Maurice Anderson. And Rick, if Fort Lewis can get Maurice Anderson going, he can be quite the weapon. He is a huge target.
He's 6'4", 210 pounds from Mobile, Alabama. And he'll be back next year. He's not one of the seniors that are leaving. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 17 seniors, which isn't really that many. This is a pretty young team, and a lot of those kids will be coming back next year. We have 17 seniors for Fort Lewis. This is their last game today.
3-step drop for Jordan Doyle. That pass is complete to number 88, Aaron Holt, and then he tries to cut it further upfield, Rick, and he hits that muddy mess right in the middle of the field, and his feet come out from underneath him.
That was very loose turf out there, and he does a good job, and it's just a little simple break to the middle kind of route, and nice pass to him. He picks up about 7 yards. 2nd down and 4 on the 10-yard line of Black Hill State.
14-0 is your score. Fort Lewis leads this game in the second quarter, and that's going to be a false start as number 66, the tackle for Fort Lewis, got moving early, Kenny Shinley, and he's done a pretty solid job filling in for the injured and starter Arthur Jr.
Yeah, Arthur Ray Jr. is out. He has a meniscus tear. And, Mr. Shinley, Kenny Shinley, he's done a good job. He's 270 pounds from my hometown, Arvada, Colorado. And again, he'll be back next year. He's just a redshirt freshman. And he'll do a good job for him next year.
The tall tight end, Berryhill, checking in the game. Quick swing pass is completed to number 80, Bodie.
Yeah,
he has a nice twist move towards the sideline. Unfortunately, he's unable to get away from the defender. He's going to be brought down just shy of the 10-yard line. They're going to mark it on the 12. So 3rd down and 5 for Fort Lewis after the penalty. They lead this game 14-0 in the second quarter. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. That's Holt and Bodie. Maurice Anderson solo coverage to the near side. Fumble on the ground, and that is going to be recovered by Black Hill State. And again, we talked about this last week, Rick. Jordan Doyle likes to run with the football hanging out instead of tucking it away.
Well, that's a problem. Is he, as he was going through the line of scrimmage, he had that ball around his waist, and somebody just popped it out. Coach Smith is going to talk to him, I'm sure, about that. He's got to protect the ball. Here we are knocking on the door again. Could have gotten a score there, at least 3 points, and we end up coming away with 0. And they take the ball with 12:40 left in the second quarter on the 15-yard line. Black Hill State is down 14-0 to Fort Lewis.
So number 17, Ward Anderson and company will take the field. They have the same setup of offense as Fort Lewis. They've got 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far. That's going to be a keeper by the quarterback, Anderson. He finds a little bit of running room. He's going to gain 5 yards, so it brings up 2nd down and 5 from the 20-yard line.
2nd down and 5 from the 20. And again, we mentioned he's their leading rusher, their quarterback. And, it's going to be a long day if he has to be the one carrying the ball all the time, trying to pick up first downs for them.
So they're going to flip the field, 3 receivers to the far side, and that's going to be another keeper by Anderson. The ball's on the ground, and that was a strange play, Rick, because that ball bounced around for about 2 or 3 seconds, and I don't think Fort Lewis realized that the quarterback, Anderson, had fumbled.
Well, Ryan Ross, number 35 for Fort Lewis, did a good job of plugging the hole stopping Anderson from going anywhere, and in the process of making the tackle, the ball pops out and one of their linemen falls on it. That's number 62 for them, Ton Terrault, offensive lineman, 298 pounds from Spearfish, North Dakota.
So Black Hills bringing in all sorts of players on the switch out. There's a snap, handoff, fake handoff. They're going to have a swing pass to their tight end, number 87. A few missed tackles, and they would have had him stopped in the backfield, Rick, but nobody wraps him up, and he's going to pick up 11 yards and a first down.
That was a great play call, and what it is it's a tight end screen, so they fake the pass to the far side of the field. Meanwhile, the defensive line gets pressure on the quarterback. The offensive linemen come around and get in front of the tight end. That was a good pickup for a first down. They're on the 28-yard line.
There's a snap. Handoff to number 20, the running back, Dollins. He's going to gain a yard, so that'll bring up 2nd down and 9 from the 31.
Well, sort of as we predicted, Fort Lewis has done a good job about stopping the run, and that's where we're at right now. I mean, they have right now 40 yards rushing through a little over a quarter in this football game, and that's not going to get it done. They got to get more than that if they're going to have a chance to stay in this with Fort Lewis.
The quarterback, Anderson, looks over the defense. He's going to hand it off to his running back. That's number 2, Nielsen, and he's going to pick up a first down again, and that'll move the chains. First down and 10 from the 40.
Drew Nielsen, senior running back, 5'11", 218 pounds from Glen Rock, Wyoming. And we were probably up in that neck of the woods last weekend, Albert, when we got lost on our way to Chatham State. But needless to say, good run on that for a first down, ball on the 40-yard line.
There's a snap again, a handoff to the running back, Nielsen, and he is a large running back. Almost kind of the build like we have with DeJuan Wesley. He just gets the football and he goes north. No juking in his running game.
Well, he looks a lot like DeJuan Wesley, and he does a good job and power runner. And this is what they need to do if they're going to have a shot. They need to be able to run the ball. They've got 3 wide receivers to the Fort Lewis side of the ball at this point.
There's a snap. Again, handoff. Not doing anything tricky, Rick. They've ran the same play 3 times and are near a first down. So this is going to bring up 3rd down and 1. They're going to mark it 3rd down and 2 from the 48.
Well, they're spreading the field out, and that's creating some gaps, and then they're electing to run off of those spread formations. Pretty good play design there. They have 2 tight ends in this particular down with nobody in the backfield.
There's a snap. Anderson with the 3-step drop. He had a ton of pressure. He takes a big shot, and that pass is incomplete as it was thrown right into the hands of his intended receiver, number 86, Jerome Crissell.
Well, he couldn't have missed. I mean, that ball hit him right in the stomach. I can't believe he dropped that ball. Good play for Fort Lewis. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and stopped him again. 3rd down, and they're going to have to kick, and we're going to have Jamal Campbell back around the 10-yard line.
14-0 the score here in the 2nd quarter, 9:08 on the clock. There's the snap. It's a high end-to-end. Jamal Campbell will catch it dangerously about the 15, and when we come back, Fort Lewis will have it 1st down and 10 here on 930 AM ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
For the Skyhawks. Coors and Burke Sports Bar and Grill will close at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Welcome back, 14-0 is the score. Fort Lewis leads this game in the second quarter. That was a handoff to number 3, Amory Duncan. He's going to pick up 4 yards, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 6 from the 20.
Yeah, simple handoff to Amory Duncan. He picks up about 4 yards, and if you can do that every time, you're going to pick up a lot of yards during the day, and hopefully that's what Fort Lewis will do.
Doyle gets a snap. He throws it across the field to a wide open tight end, number 85. That's Drew Berryhill, and he throws it behind him. There wasn't a player within about 7 yards of him, Rick, so that would have picked up some huge yardage if they connect.
Well, not only huge yardage on the catch, but he's a big load to bring down. I mean, we've seen him just run over people. He's 265 pounds, and he was wide open. That was just a poor missed throw by the quarterback, Jordan Doyle.
3rd down and long. Doyle looking to pass. That's going to be knocked down at the line of scrimmage as the pass was intended for number 80, Doyle Bodie, but the defensive end went airborne, knocks it down, and out comes the punt team.
Well, you see that more and more, when you can't get pressure on the quarterback. What's happening is the defensive linemen are coming in, throwing their arms up in the air, trying to bat the ball down. That's exactly what happened. This is our first punt of the day. And fortunately, we've got Scotty Gallardo because he's a senior punter and he's leading the country in Division II punting, and he's done a great job for Fort Lewis this season.
Gallardo lining up from his 5-yard line. There's the snap. The kick is high. Beautiful spiral. It's going to be fair caught right around the 40-yard line, and when we come back, Black Hills will have 1st down and 10 from the 39. 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
For the Yellow Jackets, starting at their own 40-yard line.
Today, Dad's moving into Sunshine Gardens.
We're all really excited.
You sure are a hit around here. Woo!
And once he's settled in, I'm sure he'll come out of his shell.
I hear they even have a happy hour. How about that?
Well, I think he's going to like it here just fine.
You know, honey, I think you're right.
Welcome back. That pass was intended for number 18. Incomplete, almost picked off by the safety, number 25, Jake Foss. He just couldn't hold on to the ball.
Couldn't hold on to the ball, and that was a great play to break up that pass. 2nd down and 10 for Black Hill State.
There's a snap to Anderson. He's going to throw a swing pass to his big running back, number 2, Nielsen. And again, he's a large running back. You've got to wrap him up. The defensive back, Rick, just try to bring him out by a hit, just standing up and
they had the wide receivers break to the middle of the field, and then their other receiver came to the sideline, and Terry Perkins followed the inside receiver and should have stayed to the outside, and that opened up a big hole for them to get about 12 yards on that gain. So we're going to have 1st down for Black Hill State at the 50-yard line. They're down 14-0, 7:45 left in the second quarter.
2 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 to the far side. His running back, Nielsen, in the backfield with Anderson. It's going to be a handoff to the running back. Nielsen, he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He gets back dead spot on the line of scrimmage, so it brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 50.
Derek Wetzel and Broderick Sargent in on that play, holding him to no gain. 2nd down and 10, literally at the 50-yard line. Black Hill State's heading to the north end zone, and they have a little bit of wind at their back.
Well, at halftime, Rick, who do we have a treat for on our player interview?
We've got the kicker, Kip Castana, and Kip Castana is from Rye, Colorado. Really nice young man, and he's a player that was originally selected down here to come down and get a scholarship, and had some troubles after the first year. Came back this year and has done a terrific job, and it's a good interview, and nice young man. He's going into elementary education, and he's done a great job for Fort Lewis this year for sure out on the field.
Big hit after the handoff to the running back, number 20. There's a snap, pressure. He should be sacked, and he is. By number 29, who else when they're playing defense? That's a defensive end, Sergeant.
Well, he beat Dalton Wademan and just kept the pass rush off, and now we've got third down about 13 at the 47-yard line of Black Hill State. We're going to get the ball back, and they've got a little bit of wind to their face. So hopefully we can get this ball. We've got Jamal Campbell and Thaddeus Brown back there to field this punt, and we just need to make sure we secure it and get that offense back on the field.
So they're going to line up right around the 15-yard line. We'd like to ask you listeners to stay with us at halftime as we have a special guest interview that Rick will be conducting. That punt is almost blocked, but he's able to get it away. And this is going to put Fort Lewis in some bad position if they get this ball down, and they do not. So it's going to be first down and 10 after the touchback for Fort Lewis. And we're going to take a quick break and be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
It's time for rejuvenation with luxurious healing waters, breathtaking views, and lavish spa treatments at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs. Stay at the new Ecolux Hotel and enjoy 24-hour access to our 23 unique pools by the river. Indoors, relax in the hotel and enjoy therapeutic services at the spa. It's time for rejuvenation at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs.
Duncan on the carry. No gain on the play. Brings up second down and 10.
0 in the second quarter. 5:25 left on the clock. It is a cloudy, rainy, cold day out here. The field is muddy. So we haven't seen a whole lot of fireworks offensively from both of these teams. There's a snap. Doyle looking right in the middle of the field, and that's going to be completed to number 80. That's Doyle Bodie, and he's going to pick up 11 yards, and that'll move the chains. First down and 10 from the 31.
Oh, that was a great play. Doyle Bodie just came across the middle of the field on a slant pattern and broke in front of the safety, and Jordan Doyle did a good job of putting that ball low. He goes to the ground and prevents an interception. We pick up some good yardage there, about 12 yards. It's going to be first down from the 32-yard line for Fort Lewis.
Anderson goes into motion. There's the snap. Handoff to the running back, Anderson, and he's going to lose 2 yards, and he might have lost the football, but the head lineman on the far side of the field says that his knee was down, so that ball stays with Fort Lewis, and that could have been disastrous down on their side of the field.
Well, he was clearly down, and the officials did a good job of indicating that. We're going to have second down and 12 is a loss of 2 on that play, and that was an interesting formation because Drew Berryhill was lined up as a slot about 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. We have 4 wide receivers now in for Fort Lewis. Second down and 12.
Anderson, Berryhill to the far side, Bodie and Holt to the near side. There's a snap, a throw in the middle of the field, and that's caught by number 80, Bodie, and he takes a big hit after that play.
You know, one of the things that John L. Smith told me last week when I was talking to him about Jordan Doyle is he thinks he can throw the ball through a keyhole, and that's exactly what he did on that play. That ball was in between 3 people. Great job to pick up that first down.
He threw a lace on that football. Nowhere to go with the ball that time, as that was great coverage by Black Hill State on the defensive side. And Doyle does the smart thing and throws the football away, so he lives to play another down, second down and 10 from the 48-yard line.
I think that was a busted play because all the receivers were blocking downfield, and I think they anticipated him running the ball, and nobody was even looking, so he did a good job there, a great decision, throwing that ball out of bounds for Fort Lewis. Second down and 10 at the 47-yard line.
14-0 is the score. Fort Lewis leads this game. Nova Hardy, Rick, has not been in the game in the second quarter till just now. I don't know if he hurt himself, so he's back out on the field. Handoff to number 3, Anderson. This time he holds the football as tight as he possibly can because he took a big shot at the end of that play. That's going to be a gain of 4, so it brings up third down and 6 for Fort Lewis from the 50.
Third down and 6, and we have a player injured on the field for Black Hill State. As soon as we can get that number, we'll get it to you. But that was a tough run by number 3 for Fort Lewis. Amory Duncan did a good job on that. He's not a very big running back. He's 195 pounds they have him listed at. I don't quite know if he's that big, Albert, but they just sort of picked him up and spun him around. Needless to say, we got 3rd down and 6 on the 49-yard line at Black Hill State.
And the Black Hill State player getting up of his own strength to head to the sideline, so he looks like he's okay. I'd like to say a thank you, or not a thank you, but give a kudos to Fort Lewis volleyball, Rick.
Oh, volleyball team. They made the playoffs, and they started off rough. I believe they were 0-9 at the beginning of the season, came back and won in 5 sets last night, and they're in the playoffs, so congratulations to Kelly Riffalato and the volleyball team.
Quick swing pass to number 3, Duncan. He takes, again, another big hit. There's some big hits coming from both of these teams on each side of the ball, but Duncan's going to pick up a 1st down. He picks up 12 yards, so that'll move the chains, and that was a tough spot to be in on 3rd down.
It was, but it seems like the offense has got some good rhythm right now. They're moving the ball, and people seem to be doing a good job of forcing the ball up the field. So 1st down for Fort Lewis at the 42-yard line.
That should be a defensive offsides penalty, as the linebacker, number 44, was blitzing here on the near side of the field, Rick, and the line judge was all over that. But what a nice play. Again, another swing pass to number 3, the running back, Amory Duncan, and they've done well with that play.
Well, they've done well on that play, and obviously that's an adjustment that Black Hill State has not made yet. It's going to be 1st down and 5 for Fort Lewis. We have a few sponsors we'd like to thank. CJ's Diner, Durango Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, Durango Motor Company, Morhart Murphy Regional Auto Center, Inside Durango TV, First National Bank of Durango, and Durango Herald. Go Skyhawks!
Here's a strange move, Rick. Fort Lewis got the ball to the 35-yard line, but Coach John L. Smith decided to take the penalty. So the penalty was 5 yards, but the gain was 7 yards. So
I would have done the same thing. It gives you 3 downs to get 5 yards instead of 2 downs to get 4.
So they're going downfield to Nova Hardy. Nice coverage by the cornerback, number 23 for Black Hill State. That's Baldwin on the coverage. Really, Nova Hardy didn't have a chance on that pass, as it went about 4 yards too deep for him to run underneath. So 2nd down and 5. Fort Lewis still leads this game 14-0 with 2:55 here in the 2nd quarter.
2:55 left, 14-0. Now we've got 2nd down and 5. And that's the first time they try and air it out. And they haven't done that in a couple of weeks either. Nova Hardy was downfield, but just a little bit overthrown.
That's going to be a fake handoff keeper by the quarterback, Jordan Doyle. And now we're going to have a penalty. I'm not sure if that's going to be a holding against Fort Lewis.
It is. It's going to be holding on number 4, Maurice Anderson. And he was downfield blocking for the quarterback, Jordan Doyle, as he went around the corner. So that's a big penalty. It's still probably going to be 2nd down and about 3 yards to go, because that's a penalty that's stepped off from the point of the foul. So it's going to be 2nd down, about 3 yards to go, just as we had thought. So, but good play by Fort Lewis. 2nd down and short.
That's why Rick makes the big bucks, because you were right on point with that. Again, we'd like to ask you to stick with us here at halftime. Rick's going to be interviewing our special guest.
Yeah, we have Beth Lachelle. She's the coordinator for the Old Fort at Hesperus, which was the original location of Fort Lewis. That's probably a little bit before I attended here, but not much.
Which he's saying, folks, is he's old.
Old and bald.
There's the snap. Another swing pass to Duncan. He should have the 1st down and more. And that was close to being a clip.
I think it's going to be a block in the back, Albert, and that was on Nova Hardy, who tried to block the cornerback for number 3, Amory Duncan, as he turned the corner. That's unfortunate. Now it's going to be 2nd and about 7 yards to go, where we would have had a 1st down. There was no need for him to make that block. It's unfortunate for Fort Lewis, but we get another down, 2 downs to make 7 yards.
I just was surprised how late that penalty flew in, but it was the right call, and you called it exactly right. Hardy did not need to make that block, as Duncan had already turned the corner. So 2nd down and 7 for Fort Lewis as the time is coming near to an end here at the halftime. 2 minutes left, 14-0 is the score. Jordan with the 3-step drop. He's got trouble. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to take a sack. And they're going to lose some big-time yardage on that play, Rick. They lose 10 yards.
10 yards, and that's unfortunate. So we picked up the first down twice, and now we end up 3rd down about 16. And, you know, Fort Lewis's offense, I think they can pick up this first down. There's a timeout on the field with 1:48.
And we'll take one ourselves and be right back here on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more. So Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
Last couple of possessions that they've had.
Well, they made 2 first downs this series and got them called back because of penalties, and so now it's going to be 4th down and 16. It's unfortunate that Fort Lewis did not capitalize on that particular series of downs. They're going to have to punt it away. To Black Hill State with 1:39 left in the 2nd quarter. That's unfortunate. I mean, they were moving the ball well, and a couple penalties, and here they go. They're 4th down and 16. They're going to have to punt it away.
I'd like to remind you today's game is being filmed for rebroadcast by Inside Durango TV and broadcasted live on the America One website. Go to AmericaOneSports.com for viewing information.
Now, Fort Lewis so far in this first half has accumulated 283 yards of offense, by far their best showing of the season, while only allowing 112 yards on offense for Black Hill State. They're up 14-0 with 1:39 left in the 2nd quarter. 4th down and 17 to go. And for Black Hill State, number 20, Harrison Dollins goes back to receive the kick.
Gallardo can really pin back Black Hill State deep in their own territory with this punt. There's a snap. The kick is up. It's high. It's end to end. It's going to be fair caught right short of the 20. So when we come back, we're going to have 1st down and 10 for Black Hill State on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Will be 1st down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their own 19-yard line. Fans, don't forget to buy your 50-50 raffle ticket. The winning ticket will be selected in the 3rd quarter. Anderson's pass ball is incomplete off the hands of number 2. Drew Nielsen brings up 2nd down and 10.
So that brings up 2nd down and 10. 1:30 left here in the 2nd quarter. 14-0 is the score. Anderson's got the snap. 2-step drop. He's got plenty of time. Takes a big hit. Intercepted. Oh, man, 33. He didn't even have to move to catch that ball.
Liato just stood right there. I don't know what happened. I don't know how the quarterback didn't see him. He literally went to his knees and just caught the ball. There was no receiver even close. Great news for Fort Lewis. We've got the ball on the 25-yard line, 26-yard line of Black Hill State. 1st down with 1:24. We'll see if we can put some points on the board. When I spoke with the kicker, Kip Castana, during the interview this week, the longest he's made in practice is 63 yards. His longest during a game is 43 yards. A sloppy field, that's not going to happen, but he certainly has the leg to get it through and get some more points on the board.
Doyle in an empty backfield. He sees a big opening. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to pick up some nice yardage, Rick. Again, the one scary thing about Doyle on a defense is the fact that he can throw the football, but he can run it even better. The scary thing for Fort Lewis is he doesn't protect the football when he runs.
Sometimes he doesn't protect it. That time he had the ball tucked away very well. He's 210 pounds. He's tough to bring down. 2nd down and 3 for Fort Lewis on the 19.
Two-step drop, quick throw out, and that's picked off, and he's going to take this into the end zone from the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Interception for a touchdown for Black Hill State right before they go in. And Rick, you could see that play develop before it even started.
Well, number 23, Brian Baldwin, was hanging back and closed on the receiver. Number 4, Maurice Anderson, and you don't know if the receiver should have come back to the ball or if that was just a bad call, but needless to say, that was a great play by number 23 for Black Hill State. And again, that's Brian Baldwin, junior cornerback from Camarillo, California.
So they're going to try the extra point. The score is 14-6. Jordan Doyle on the interception in return for a touchdown. And the kicker is ready. He nods that he's ready. The holder calls for the ball. There's a snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it looked like he hit the ground, but it goes through. This game is 14-7. We've got Fort Lewis's coaches in the next room to us, Rick. They are not happy on that pass. And really, that is a two-step drop and throw pass. Unfortunately, Jordan Doyle dropped back and then he waited. And then he threw it, and that was everything that defender needed.
Well, instead of going up 17-0 or 21-0, now it's a real ball game. It gives them some momentum going into the second half. 42 seconds left, 14-7 Fort Lewis, and I can't imagine them doing anything too creative getting the ball back after that turnover. They were in a great spot to get some points on the board, and unfortunately, big turnover for Fort Lewis. And again, Jordan Doyle throws a pick in the red zone. That's what happened twice last week, and this one comes back to sting Fort Lewis. 7 points for Black Hill State on that turnover.
Now, talking in terms of last week, Fort Lewis really got some things going in the first quarter, Rick. It was the interceptions that Jordan threw in the end zone that really just changed the complete outlook of that football game.
That was 34-10, I think, was the final score, and Fort Lewis was definitely in that game. 2 picks in the end zone and 2 4th down and 1s that they could not convert on, and that game could have been a lot different had they capitalized on those particular plays.
Here's the kick. It's high, it's deep, going to be taken at the 5-yard line from number 2, Jamal Campbell. He's going to cross the 15 to the 20. He's going to be brought down short of the 30 when we come back. Fort Lewis will have first down and 10 on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
For natural and organic vitamins and supplements and health and beauty products, there's no better place than Nature's Oasis. We offer an experienced staff, nutrition and supplement education, and exclusive products. Nature's Oasis, home to the largest selections of vitamins and supplements in the Four Corners region.
Jamal Campbell and Thaddeus Brown back to receive for the Skyhawks.
Went against Black Hill State, so they move them back 5 yards. They'll re-kick it. Your score is 14-7. Can we like to ask you to stick with us? We got a special guest here at halftime that Rick will be interviewing here from Fort Lewis.
Right, we have Beth Lachelle. She's the coordinator at Old Fort at Hesperus. And that thing's been around for a long time. So we're anxious to see what she has to say and all the things that they still do out there.
Here's the kick. It's high. It's deep. Taken around the 3-yard line by number 22, Thaddeus Brown. He crosses the 15 to the 20, and he's hit from behind. So where Fort Lewis would have started near the 30-yard line, they opt to re-kick it, and they're going to start from the 22-yard line now. First down and 10, 14-7 with 32 seconds left. And Rick, I think you're right. I think they'll just hand the football off and run into halftime with the lead.
I don't even know if I'd hand the football off at this point. I'd probably just take a knee. You know, they don't line up underneath the center, so they're going to be in a shotgun formation, which is always a little creepy this late in the game. First half anyway, 32 seconds left. One turnover from turning this game into a tie.
There's a snap, handoff to number 3, Anderson. He cuts back with some nice yardage. He's going to pick up 12 yards and a first down as the clock is at 24 seconds here in the second quarter. 14-7 your score.
And just to remind everybody, when there's a first down, the clock stops until the chains are set, and then the clock starts again. So there's a temporary delay there.
Another handoff to Anderson and another huge yardage pickup of 9. They kill the clock.
Well, it looks like it might be another first down for Fort Lewis. They call timeout there, but it's going to be, if it's not a first down, it's like 2nd and 2 inches. I'm surprised they didn't measure for that first down there, but Fort Lewis will have the ball, 2nd down. Well, they are going to give them a first down. So that's an odd play there where the officials, if it was close, they should have stopped the clock, either did a measurement or gave them a first down so that Fort Lewis didn't have to burn a timeout there. That's a timeout that they really didn't need to take with 11 seconds left. You know, Jordan Doyle's got a big arm and some pretty fast receivers, so he should be able to jack this thing down about 40, 50 yards downfield, and who knows what can happen with 11 seconds left in the second quarter. Fort Lewis up 14-7.
Well, one of their fastest receivers, if not their fastest receiver, number 16, Nova Harding, is not in the game. So they may just opt to hand this football off as we're at 11 seconds to halftime. 14-7 is the score. Fort Lewis leads this game. Handoff to number 3, Anderson, and he's going to be hit after a gain of 2. And it looks like they'll be happy with that just to run the timeout. And the clock stops. So Fort Lewis is going to take another timeout with 5 seconds left. And Rick, for some people who don't actually live in Durango, tell us a little bit about this, the upcoming interview you have with Beth.
Well, Fort Lewis, the old Fort Lewis is where, Fort Lewis at Hesperus, I should say, is where the old Fort Lewis College originated. And I don't want to give away all of the interview, but it's south of town, southwest of town, on the back road to Farmington, on the old highway out there. And I know they still do a lot of stuff, but it's been around, gosh, I don't even know when. We'll see. How old is it? 1911? So 1911 it was there. So right about the time that Alan Tabrink, our clock operator, was born.
So as Rick takes a dig at Alan over here, and Alan gives him the look, we're going to have 2nd down and 8 for Fort Lewis. Looking forward to that interview with Beth Lachelle at halftime. There's a snap, fake handoff. They're going deep. He's got the arm. Somebody's open. Not able to get there as he put too much arm on it. That would have been a touchdown if he could have connected with number 88. Holtrick just threw it a yard too deep.
Well, it was close. I mean, he was open. He got behind the 2 defensive backs there for Black Hill State. But Fort Lewis goes up 14-7 in the second, at the end of the first half, and looking good so far.
I'd like to ask you once again to stick with us as Rick will have our halftime special guest interview.
Visit the scenic town of Silverton and take a Jeep tour through the heart of the majestic San Juan Mountains with San Juan Backcountry Tours. Visitors can get behind the wheel and explore the mountain roads on their own, or sit back on guided tours that take you through the rich history of the area, including the ghost town Animas Forks. You can rent a Jeep, ATV, dirt bike, or we can take you on a guided tour in one of our open-top Suburbans. Enjoy the spectacular scenery from 9,000 feet all the way to 13,000 feet in elevation. The San Juans have many scenic routes and four-wheel drive passes to explore, and our experienced staff can provide maps and suggest the best routes to get you where you want to go. We guarantee you a fun and memorable experience. Come explore the historic sights and beautiful scenery of the San Juan Mountains at San Juan Backcountry Tours. The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs. It's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face. Inside Durango TV is locally produced by Fast Forward Media.
It's time for rejuvenation with luxurious healing waters, breathtaking views, and lavish spa treatments at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs. Stay at the new EcoLux Hotel and enjoy 24-hour access to our 23 unique pools by the river. Indoors, relax in the hotel and enjoy therapeutic services at the spa. It's time for rejuvenation at the Springs Resort and Spa in Pagosa Springs.
Today, Dad's moving into Sunshine Gardens.
We're all really excited.
You sure are a hit around here. Woo!
And once he's settled in, I'm sure he'll come out of his shell.
I hear they even have a happy hour. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to like it here just fine.
You know, honey, I think you're right.
Come check out what's new at the Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort. We now have single and double deck blackjack games. Enjoy our King of the Cage boxing events year-round at our events center. If you're on the go, take a break at the new Ute Mountain Travel Center. With our valet service, you can arrive in style and get right into the action. Visit us for our Saturday prime rib buffet and our seafood buffet on Fridays. With the largest gaming floor in the area, Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort has all the great games you love to play.
Fort Lewis likes to buck the status quo a bit, and the student body culture is very independent. Forces you to be an independent thinker, enables you and engenders you to be an independent thinker. And that's required a lot when you're in startup mode. You have to make a lot of decisions that you didn't know you had to make the day before you made them, right? And so you've got to think on your feet and really react to the environment that you're in. And the Fort Lewis curriculum almost always had heavy emphasis on collaborating with other students and in faculty in the process of learning or in the process of doing the work. And that helps a lot because leadership today is a very complex job. And certainly in technology, as fast as things are moving, you need a lot of input.
It's full steam ahead at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Enjoy a historic trip through southwest Colorado's rich scenery with daily train excursions through the spectacular San Juan Mountains. See the world-famous 400-foot drop at the High Line. Relax as you chug along the Upper Animas River and spend an afternoon in the historic mining town of Silverton. Stop by the depot or call 247-2733. Get more information on our website at durangotrain.com.
Whether you make your plans over a barbed wire fence or over wireless internet, if you're coming from the stockyard or the stock exchange, Durango is right at home at the Diamond Bell, timeless and timely. Inside Durango TV is locally owned and operated.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more, so Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
That's a change from the last 3 or 4 games, as I'm going to correct myself because number 23, Jordan Van Vliet, was returning kicks for Fort Lewis at least for the last 3 games.
He has been. I find it interesting that he's not out there. It's senior day. We have 17 seniors on this team. This is their last game at home, and certainly Jamal Campbell and Thaddeus Brown are both seniors also, but Jordan Van Vliet for the last, 4 or 5 games have been out there receiving punts and kickoffs.
So here's the kick. It's a squib kick, going to be picked up around the 10, then fumbled and picked back up by number 2, Jamal Campbell. And you can see how the footing is getting very loose out there on the ground. When we come back, Fort Lewis will have it first down and 10 on your 9:30 a.m. ESPN radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
That's 593-344. 593-344. That's your raffle ticket. Please come claim your money at the press booth.
I'll just roll with it. 14-7 is the score. Here in the third quarter, 14 minutes left on the clock. As Fort Lewis has the ball shy of the 20-yard line, closer to the 19. Jordan Doyle, shotgun formation. He's got 4 receivers split out. There's a snap, 3-step drop. He steps up into the pocket. He's going to take another sack. So not the kind of offense you want to see from Fort Lewis coming out from the break, Rick.
Oh, number 95 for Black Hill State. He's a big defensive player. He's a freshman. 5'10", 269 pounds from Rapid City. Does a good job. Great to sack.
Doyle's going to split out Holt and Bodie to the near side. To the far side is Maurice Anderson. They're bring the blitz, does Black Hills, and they're going to nail Doyle in the backfield, and they're going to lose a ton of yardage, close to 8 yards. So it brings up a third down and a mile for Fort Lewis, and they're going to have to punt.
Well, they lost, 6 yards on that particular possession, 10 yards total. They go the wrong direction. They're just kicking from their end zone. Going to give great field position to Black Hill State. They have their player lined up at the 50-yard line. A little bit of breeze to the back of Scotty Gallardo, but Black Hills, they're going to get great field position here. And Fort Lewis, not how you want to start the second half.
Use a huge punt here by Gallardo as they came after it. Fair catch is called. And it's going to be first down and 10 for Black Hills from the 49-yard line. Excellent field position for them to start their first possession here in the second half. And we'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Raffle ticket number 593-344. Please come clean with prize at the press booth. tackle for a loss by number 35, Ryan Ross. Loss of 1 on the play brings up second down and 11 for the Yellow Jackets.
Great job of pursuit by Fort Lewis on the defensive side of the ball as they put Black Hill State deep from third down territory, 3rd and 12. And number 17, Ward Anderson, getting the call in from the sidelines. They're going to have 3 receivers to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side. There's the snap, 2-step drop. He's got time to throw. He's going to throw a swing out pass, and his running back is wide open, should pick up the first down, and he does as he picks up 14 yards and a first down.
Oh, that was just a blown coverage. There was no way that running back could have gotten out of the backfield without anybody behind him. Blown coverage by Fort Lewis, and not a good way to start the second quarter. The second half. We have 11:38 in the third quarter, 14-7 for Fort Lewis as number 78 for Black Hill State checks in, and that's Matthew Fields, 6'5", 310-pounder.
There's a snap, handoff to the big bruising running back Nielsen as he moves forward for a gain of 5, so it brings up second down and 5. And Rick, offensively, when you can at least pick up 5 to 6 yards on first down, you got to be happy with that.
Oh, you got to be really happy with that, and especially the way they ran the ball in the first half. They just did a horrible job in the first half, and coming out strong here in the second.
There's a snap to Nielsen again. He's going to be hit short of the first down by a defensive back. 14-7, still the score. 10:50 going on the clock here in the third quarter.
Well, it's third down, about 2 yards to go. And Fort Lewis in that first half, 306 yards of offense to a little over 100 yards for Black Hill State. But they're only down by 7, and they're driving the ball here early in the third quarter.
And that was a fumble after the handoff to number 2, Nielsen. It looked like, Rick, that the quarterback Anderson hit the side of the arm of his running back, number 2, Nielsen. He's able to fall right back on top of the football, brings up 4th down. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Well, big play for Fort Lewis on that to stop them. Actually going to be 4th down and 4 from the 32-yard line of Fort Lewis. This is a big stop here if they can stop them on this play.
So here we go. Going into motion is the running back, Nielsen. He sets back up in his backfield position. There's a snap. Has a lot of time now. He's going to scramble to the far side of the field, and he's going to be brought down, and then they do not wrap him up. So this is going to make this marking interesting, Rick. They had him stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and they don't wrap him up, and he dives towards the first down. It's going to be close.
Well, it's going to be close, but it's Fort Lewis's ball, and that's a big stop on 4 downs there. The quarterback for Black Hill State, Ward Anderson, he's their leading rusher. We mentioned that earlier, and quite honestly, he just did a bad move there. If he would have dove forward, I think he would have got that first down. Fort Lewis takes over at the 29-yard line. Fort Lewis, and we have Nova Hardy back in the game, which is a good sign. Hopefully we can get down deep, get the ball deep to him. We also have Aaron Holt and Doyle Bodie.
So Jordan Doyle looks over the defense. He's ready. There's a snap, quick throw out completed to the big tight end, number 85, Barry Hill. And they really need to get Barry Hill rolling, Rick, as he's able to pick up the first down.
Well, number 44, Trent Boner, he's a linebacker, sophomore. He's 200 pounds. He's trying to bring down 265 pounds and did a good job on that play, but we pick up the first down, and that's what Fort Lewis needs to do, get some confidence back in the passing game. First down on the 39-yard line.
Doyle, quick throw, intended for number 19, Nova Hardy, and he just looked upfield too fast, Rick, before he had possession of the football, so that's going to be an incomplete pass for Fort Lewis.
That would have been a big gain because both Aaron Holt and Doyle Bodie were downfield blocking, and you're absolutely right. Nova Hardy just looked the looked upfield, didn't watch the ball into his hands, and 2nd down and 10 for Fort Lewis, but that would have been a big play.
Bodie into motion. They're going to fake a handoff, and Doyle's going to keep it himself. He's going to pick up 4 yards. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 for Fort Lewis. And again, they need this 1st down to keep this drive going, Rick. They've stalled out really since the middle of the 1st quarter.
They have stalled out. After that turnover that created a touchdown for Black Hill State, they've sort of gone, they've lost some momentum, some enthusiasm. This would be a big 1st down for them to pick up.
8:54 left on the clock. 14-7 is the score. Fort Lewis still leads this game. That's a designed run for Jordan Doyle, and it goes nowhere. He's barely able to get back to the original line of scrimmage, Rick, and Fort Lewis's offense stalls out yet again, and they are forced to punt.
It stalls out, and that's unfortunate. You know, their nose tackle, number 59, did a good job. That's Peter Fenster. He did a really good job of identifying the quarterback play, sort of rushed upfield and then dropped back and tackled him for a no gain, and we have to kick the ball here. 8:18 left in the 3rd quarter.
The speedy Dollins is deep to return this kick for Black Hill State. There's the kick. It's high, spiral, it's deep, and it's a beauty. It's around the 5-yard line and bounces into the end zone. We'll be right back with 1st down and 10 for Black Hill State on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
It's raining outside. He's got his little foot pulled in. Looks just like Fury there. Yeah, sometimes, not always.
Running back number 2, Nelson, he goes forward for a gain of 4, so it brings up 2nd down and 6. As Black Hills gets right back to the line of scrimmage, they're going to have 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. There's a snap, fake handoff. It's going to be a keeper. Anderson calls his own number, and he's going to pick up the 1st down. And it was a nice read by the quarterback, Anderson, to see if the defensive end crashes in. He does, so he keeps it and picks up some nice yardage.
Well, he's their leading rusher on the season and leading rusher today. He's got 65 yards. He's got 20 yards before that carry, so he's going to have probably about 17 yards. Averages 36 yards per game, so he does a good job of recognizing when he needs to run.
There's a snap, the pass. It is completed to number 31, Frunholtz, and he takes a big shot at the end of the play. He's a little wobbly. As a matter of fact, he's still on the field, on the turf. And I'm not sure if he maybe twisted his ankle, but number 29 coming back out onto the field, Rick Sargent. He's the playmaker on the defensive side of the football for Fort Lewis, but he hadn't been in the game until just now.
Well, in the second half. He had a big first half, and he's done a good job all season. He's had a good game today. So, he's a pass rusher specialist, and he's created a lot of anxiety for a lot of quarterbacks this season. We'll see what he can do here. We've got 2nd down and 3. That's a good pickup on 1st down for Black Hill State.
Black Hill State on the 40-yard line. Anderson gets the snap, fake handoff. It's a quick toss to number 8. It's completed. And he's going to be close to the 1st down depending on where the line judge marks him, but I'm pretty sure he's got enough for the 1st down as that went to Brick Carper. He's a sophomore wide receiver, 5'10", 180 pounds.
Well, that was a good play, and Fort Lewis held him to a short gain on that. It could have been a lot worse, but both the defensive backs on that particular play did a good job of stopping for a short gain. Needless to say, we've got 1st down on the 44-yard line of Black Hill State.
There's a handoff to the running back, number 2, Drew Nielsen. He moves forward for a gain of 3. 14-7, still the score. Fort Lewis leading this game here in the 3rd quarter, late in the 3rd quarter. I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with us at halftime while you heard Rick O'Block's interview.
Well, we had 2 interviews. We had Kip Castana, who's the kicker for Fort Lewis, and we had Beth Lachelle, the coordinator at Old Fort at Hesperus.
There's a keeper by Anderson. He takes a big hit as he gets stood up close to the 49-yard line, and that's where they're going to bring him down. So it brings up 3rd down and 5 for Black Hills State from the 49.
Well, this will be a big stop, and the other stud on the defensive side of the ball, he's a senior, is Joey Alvarez. He did a good job of holding the quarterback to a short gain. We've got 3rd down and 5:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Fort Lewis up 14-7.
Black Hills State really not being able to get any kind of offense going. And I really think, obviously, that is due to this Fort Lewis defense. They do not have an offensive point today. There's a snap. Anderson is pressured. He's going to keep Tuckett. Runs right up the middle of his line. And I think he got the 1st down after that last-ditch effort for the dive.
Well, the linesman on the far side of the field marked the ball. The line judge on this side of the field had a 4th down. They're going to give it to him. 1st down and 10 for Black Hill State, and they're slowly grinding out this yardage for a 1st down here. It's on the 46-yard line of Fort Lewis, and they're moving the ball here in the 2nd half.
Anderson with the snap, handoff to Nielsen. Nielsen's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He's going to pick up a yard, maybe 2. We'll see where they mark him down at, as you're going to have 2nd down and 9 for Black Hill State.
Number 35, Ryan Ross, a junior linebacker, did a good job of crashing from the far side of the field. Held him to about a 1-yard gain. That's the type of stuff Fort Lewis needs to do in order to stop this drive and get the ball back. We got to get some more points on the board.
Anderson's going to be pressured. He's going to roll out. The pass was intended for his running back, number 2, Nielsen, who released from the backfield. And I think in a panic, he just threw the football a little too fast, and it was out of the reach of his intended receiver, Nelson. So incomplete, 3rd down and 9.
Well, a lot of pressure from Broderick Sargent, who's defensive end on that play, and put a lot of pressure, made him hurry the throw, and he was inaccurate with that throw. We've got 3rd down and 9. This is a big stop if we can stop him on this play. You know, Anderson is a passing quarterback. He averages almost 300 yards a game, and today he's not been terribly successful, but this is a big play for Fort Lewis.
Fake handoff, keeper. Now he throws the football, and that is completed, and he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down. So that was a big tackle by the covering corner, number 22, Thaddeus Brown. And Rick, he stops him about 3 yards short, so it's going to be interesting to see what Black Hills will opt to do here.
Well, it looks like they're going to go for it. Thaddeus Brown, I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and he's from Nevada and played with on the same. Coach Brown was one of the coaches at Nevada and asked Thaddeus to come over. And great young man, did a good job on that play to hold him. It's going to be 4th down, about 3 yards to go on the Fort Lewis 38-yard line.
Let's see if the quarterback Anderson calls his own number. There's a snap. He's going to roll out. He's looking deep. He's going to be tackled from behind, but not until he picks up the 1st down. And Sargent caught him from behind, Rick, but he was just a little too late. Anderson had already crossed the 1st down marker.
Well, he was looking downfield for Breck Carper, a sophomore wide receiver from Gillette, Wyoming. And unfortunately, Broderick just couldn't catch him in time. It's going to be 1st down at the 35-yard line for Black Hills State.
And that's the 2nd time Black Hills has gone for it on 4th down, and that's the 2nd time they've been successful on the 4th down. There's a throw. Incomplete as it was intended for number 5. That's Dan Long. And I think that was just a safety throw, Rick, as Anderson airmailed that about 5 feet too high for his receiver.
Fort Lewis was lucky on that play because there was a broken coverage, and because the pressure that the quarterback was receiving, Anderson, Fort Lewis was able to get back in position, but number 5 for Black Hills State was wide open, Dan Long, on that particular play.
Anderson with a handoff to number 20, Dollins. He is shifty and very speedy. He's a short running back, so it's tough at times to pick him up from the backfield, Rick, when you have the big offensive lineman like you do with Black Hills State.
Well, he's 5'7", 155 pounds, and he is small to see behind those big linemen. It's 3rd down and 5 here for Fort Lewis. This will be a big stop if they can stop him here on this particular play. Bring up 4th down.
There's a snap, handoff to number 2, Nielsen. He finds a big opening. He's still on his feet. He almost breaks it away, He's going to be tackled from behind by the middle linebacker, number 56 for Fort Lewis. And that was a touchdown-saving tackle, Rick, because if he doesn't get him from behind, they're in the end zone.
Well, Liato for Fort Lewis hit the player, but just didn't wrap him up. And first down, and Black Hill State's going to score on that particular play. Sorry, we were at the 12-yard line. 12-yard run for Black Hill State for number 20, Harrison Dollins, redshirt freshman running back. And Fort Lewis is breaking down on defense, Albert.
And that was a handoff to number 20, Dollins. As Rick was saying, he wasn't even touched as he ran that in from about the 13-yard line. And here's the extra point try. 14-13 is the score. Fort Lewis has this lead pending this extra point kick. He nods that he's ready. He calls for the ball. His holder does. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up. It is right through the middle, and we are tied up 14-14 here late in the third quarter. 2:54 left to go. We'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs. It's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face.
Taken back for close to 70-yard touchdown interception return, and deep for Fort Lewis is number 22 Thaddeus Brown and number 2 Jamal Campbell.
You know, it's interesting, Albert, because Fort Lewis had everything going. You know, they were completely dominating this game. All of a sudden, bad turnover, and they're right back in at 14-14 here in the third quarter.
Campbell just running right up the middle, and a great return as he returns it across the 35. He caught that from the 5-yard line, Rick, so he puts Fort Lewis into great field position now. They need their leader and quarterback to start putting this drive together and get the ball into the hands of his playmakers and get on the board.
Well, they need to do something. I mean, they're 14 unanswered points for Black Hill State. Fort Lewis needs to step it up here, and, you know, they're a more talented team, they're a more athletic team, and they should be dominating this game as they were early. And now they've got to put the rubber to the road, get the ball in the end zone, get some points, make no mistakes here in the third quarter.
There's a snap, handoff to his running back, number 3, Anderson. He's able to elude one would-be tackler in the backfield to turn that into a 4-yard gain. So it's going to bring up second down and 6 from the 41-yard line.
I think Jordan Doyle does a good job of putting that ball in the belly of the running back and making a decision when to pull it out and run himself or when to give it to the running back, and that was displayed on that particular play. He picks up 4 yards. Fort Lewis has got the ball about the 41-yard line. Second down and 6. 2:14 left in the third quarter.
14-14 is knotted up at the score here. And Doyle calls for Hardy to go into motion. Fake handoff. He's going to roll out. He's got some pressure. There's going to be a holding against Fort Lewis as Doyle is picking up a ton of yardage. And that play is going to be wiped out as his tackle, the right side tackle, tackles down the defensive end of Black Hill State, and the white hat was all over that.
Well, that's the white hat's call to make, and so, you know, on a left-handed quarterback, he's going to be on the left side of the quarterback to protect him, and he's watching that, all that action back there by the quarterback to protect the quarterback, and that's going to be a killer because that's a 10-yard penalty, and that just takes the gas right out of him on that particular series. Now we had second down and 5. Now it's going to be second down and 17, from the 31-yard line of Fort Lewis. Killer penalty, something they did not need at this particular point.
14-14 is the score. A minute 50 left here in the third quarter. Doyle with the snap, three-step drop. He throws it out, completed to Hardy. That was a small gain of 4. That brings him to the 35-yard line, so it's going to bring up third down and 12 for Fort Lewis.
Well, they tried to get an isolation on number 23 for Black Hills State. That's Brian Baldwin against Nova Hardy. 9 times out of 10, Nova Hardy's going to win that. Unfortunately, the ball hung up a little bit, gave him too much time to close. If he could get one-on-one, I'd put my money on Nova Hardy every single time. Third down and 12.
Hardy split out single coverage to the near side. Bodie and Holt to the far side. Doyle's going to step up into the pocket. He's going to scramble, and he runs over the cornerback, number 23. He took a big shot, and he's still on the field, injured. But Doyle was not able to pick up the first down, so it's going to be short yardage here, Rick. 4th down and 2. And surely they'll punt, and sure enough, they're going to.
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, they want to pin them back into their territory as much as possible. And, this will give our opportunity for us to do that. They'll be kicking from approximately the 30-yard line. Ought to put them about their 20-yard line, and that'll be a long field for them to get any points off of.
Well, the covering corner that made the tackle, number 23, Brian Baldwin, that's his second collision he's had with Jordan Doyle, and he's been run over the top of both times. And really, I think he came up with a shoulder injury, Rick, as it looked like he was holding his shoulder. He went down low, and Jordan Doyle just ran over the top of him, and he hit him right about the mid-thigh area.
Yeah, 5'9", 173 pounds going against Jordan Doyle, who's about 200 pounds. And he's not walking off the field in a straight line at this point, so hopefully he'll be okay. Needless to say, we got 4th down. We're going to punt from the 30-yard line. Scott Gallardo is our kicker. 57 seconds left here in the third quarter.
The shifty running back, number 20, Dollins, deep to return this kick. There's a snap. The punt is high. It's going to be fair catch around the 20-yard line, about the 19. So Black Hills State will have 1st down and 10 from the 19, and we'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
For natural and organic vitamins and supplements and health and beauty products, there's no better place than Nature's Oasis. We offer an experienced staff, nutrition and supplement education, and exclusive products. Nature's Oasis, home to the largest selections of vitamins and supplements in the Four Corners region.
Keeper by the quarterback, number 17, Anderson. He's going to pick up 4 yards. Close to 5 now that they reset the chain. So 2nd down and 5 for Black Hills State.
Fort Lewis got to be careful here. They've let the momentum slip away, and 5 yards on 1st down by the quarterback. They've got to make sure that they get some intensity here on defense.
Fake handoff to Nielsen, swing pass to number 5. That's complete damn long. But he goes nowhere. He may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, and a great job, great pursuit by number 22, Thaddeus Brown, to get there, and that brings an end to this third quarter. 14-14 is your score. We're going into the championship rounds here in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back here on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Wow.
nowhere. He's going to be stopped short. Great job by the defensive line for Fort Lewis, and they'll have to bring out the punt team.
Have to bring out the punt team, and Fort Lewis this time should get some good field position. Thaddeus Brown and Jamal Campbell. Jamal Campbell's on the 35-yard line. Thaddeus Brown's about the 41. We'll see how they do here on this punt from Black Hill State.
And Rick Campbell's done a fantastic job of returning punts as well as kickoff returns, and that's going to be fair caught at the 40-yard line by Thaddeus Brown. So we're going to have first down and 10 for Fort Lewis from the 40. I'd like to remind you, Skyhawks pre-recorded games can be viewed anytime on DurangoTV.com and on cable channel 15 all day Sunday, as well as Tuesdays and Thursday evenings during the Skyhawks fall and winter sports season. Today's game is being filmed for rebroadcast by Inside Durango TV and broadcasted live on the American One website. Go to AmericaOneSports.com for viewing information. So we have first down and 10 for Fort Lewis. Doyle with a hard count. He's able to pull off almost the entire defensive line offside, so that should be 5 yards for Fort Lewis, but they're going to discuss this.
Well, I think the linesman has that the offense raised up, but we'll see what they say here from the white hat. Going to call offsides on Black Hill State. That's great. That gives us 5 free yards. Going to be first down and 5 from about the 44-yard line of Fort Lewis, and we need to get something here, Albert. We got to drive, get a score here. 14-16 in the fourth quarter, 14-14. But this is a game that Fort Lewis has dominated. 337 yards of offense through 3 quarters.
There's a snap. Fake handoff read by Doyle, and he should have handed the football off to Duncan. He had a huge hole to run through. Instead, he opts to keep it, and he loses almost every bit of the yardage they got on the penalty. It's going to bring up second down and 9.
Some of the things they were doing in the first half, it seems that they've gotten away from, and ever since that turnover, I don't know what happened, but some of those plays just seem a little bit odd. You know, they were doing like wide receiver handoffs and busting it up for some long gains, some passing yardage, and they've just sort of stalled out here and have not really done much of anything.
Black Hills comes with a blitz. And Doyle rolls out. He's going to throw it completed to number 23, Van Vliet. And that was one tough catch for him to make, Rick, as Jordan Doyle threw that at the last moment. And Van Vliet doing everything he can to keep his feet in bounds.
Jordan Van Vliet's another senior. He's from Paonia, Colorado. And talked to him earlier in the year. Nice young man, exercise science major. First down for Fort Lewis at the 50-yard line.
Doyle with the snap, handoff to Anderson. Anderson's going to be hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. He may have gained a yard, and that's exactly what they're going to give him. So it's going to bring up second down and 9 from the 49-yard line. 13:08 left on the clock. Rick, 14-14 the score.
14-14. We want to thank some sponsors: First National Bank of Durango, Durango Herald, Holiday Inn and Suites, Irish Embassy Pub, A&L Coors, Alpine Bank, Bank of the San Juans, Best Western Rio Grande Inn, Blimpies, and the Comfort Inn. Go Skyhawks!
One thing we haven't mentioned is it's senior night here today at Fort Lewis. There's a snap. Doyle's going to roll out. He's got nowhere to go with the ball, and he throws it out of bounds. So that's going to be incomplete. And then he's going to take a nice shot by the linebacker, number 44, reminding Doyle that he was right there. That's Trent Boner.
That's a tough play. I mean, he's a left-handed quarterback, and he's running to his right and throwing across his body. And we've mentioned this before, you know, when you run to one side of the field, it increases your protection, but it cuts down the size of the field and your opportunities, and that's tough to throw across your body.
They bring everybody on a blitz, and that pass was intended for number 80, Bodie. If he catches that ball, Rick, he's going to have some nice yardage. It's incomplete. He looks upfield to see who's coming. He doesn't concentrate long enough to hold on to the football, and we've got another 3 and out. So now we're going to have to punt again, and deep on about the 10-yard line is number 20, Dollins.
Well, you know, that's unfortunate because that was a setup. Great wide receiver screen. Was going to have some big yardage on there. He drops the ball. He's got to look the ball into his hands. Unfortunately, it's fourth down. We're going to have to punt.
That was nearly blocked. High skyrocket of a punt, and it's going to be stopped dead about the 19-yard line. So Black Hill State will have first down and 10 from the 19, and we'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more, so Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
Left in the fourth quarter, and that's a quarterback keeper for Anderson. He's going to be upended at the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up a yard. We'll see where they mark it. He gets 2, so it brings up second down and 8.
Well, the safety for Fort Lewis, Jake Faust, did a good job there holding the quarterback to a short gain. It's going to be second down and 9 on the 21-yard line of Black Hills State.
Anderson receiving a different play call from the sideline, so he regroups. There's a quick pass, and that is going nowhere as it was perfectly read by the nickelback, number 33 for Fort Lewis.
Well, Liato, I mean, he saw that play. It was interesting because I was watching him the whole time, and he jumped that, and he could have intercepted that. If he would have intercepted that ball, that would have been a touchdown. Easy, his second interception of the game. So, great play. Third down, loss of 3 on that. Third down and 10, Black Hill State. And right now, neither offense is doing anything to show they're going to want to win this game.
Anderson steps up in the pocket. He's looking deep, and he has somebody open, and that's going to be a catch. Great concentration by number 86. That's Tressel. And he was able to get separation away from number 2, Jamal Campbell. They both went into the air. Rick and Kressel just won the battle.
I think number 33 was on that, Albert, and Liato for Fort Lewis. And boy, you could have batted that ball down. That's a tough one. You know, that's a long pass play. They are on the 38-yard line of Fort Lewis right now.
There's a handoff to the running back, Nilsson. He's right at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard. So we'll call it second down and 9 as they mark the ball about the 38-yard line.
Well, so Fort Lewis had a lot of yards in that first half. Black Hill State starting to close the gap. 261 yards for Black Hill State, 344 yards for Fort Lewis. This 14-14 tie, 10-18 left in the fourth quarter.
Anderson in the backfield by himself. He's got everybody split out. There's a snap, quick throw to number 20, Dollins. He has a sidestep move, and now the ball's on the ground, and it's still on the ground.
Well, what happened on that play, the head linesman on that side of the field thought the runner had forward progress, blew the whistle, and the ball came out. That's unfortunate because that play should have kept going. The player was still trying to advance the ball. Unfortunately, Fort Lewis doesn't get that fumble recovery. That would have been a big momentum builder for them. Third down and 8 from the 37-yard line of Fort Lewis for Black Hill State.
Anderson with the snap, two-step drop. He's going to be pressured. He throws it across the field, almost intercepted, but the back judge has a flag thrown in, and usually that's pass interference on the defense, but we'll see the call. Did you see anything?
Well, I think Joey Alvarez might be the one who was called for that. That's going to be interesting if that happened, if it was holding, defensive holding, or it's actually pass interference on the defense. Looks like they're going to call pass interference, which they are. It's going to give first down to Black Hill State.
So that'll be the ball for Black Hill State. 14-14 to score. 9:31 left in the fourth quarter. Black Hill's able to put some things together to get across the 50-yard line on a huge pass play downfield. Now we're knocking on the doorstep towards the red zone. There's a snap. Hand off to the running back, Nilsson. He's still up. And they're going to blow the play dead after a gain of 2.
Gain of 2, short gain there. And, you know, I don't think it's a day that you want to decide a game on special teams because this field is really sloppy and messy and the footing is not solid. They've got to win this game, you're going to have to get in the end zone. You're not going to, I don't think you're going to win it on a field goal at this point.
There's the snap, a rollout pass play completed to the tight end, number 87. But coming in like a missile is number 25 for Fort Lewis. That's Jake Foss. And he upends the tight end for a small gain of 1, brings up 3rd down and 7.
Faust has done a good job today closing on that particular play. He's lining up at safety and saw the wide receiver catch that ball. We've got 3rd down and 8. He closed on that, kept him to a short gain. Fort Lewis needs a stop right here.
Anderson trying to get the defense to jump off sides. And Rick, this defense is very young, and their young players have really stepped up defensively these last 2 games.
Oh, they've done a great job
right now.
Yeah, they've done a great job the last 2 games, for sure, and all season.
Anderson's going to take a sack, and we're going to have a penalty downfield, and usually that's in the area of, again, defensive holding or defensive pass interference.
Well, it's probably going to be holding because it can only be interference if the ball's in the air. The quarterback got sacked, so we'll see what they call here. They got holding on the defense, 10-yard penalty. It's going to be a 1st down, and that moves the chains to, let's see, it's going to be at the 18-yard line. And again, another problem for Fort Lewis here. Get a penalty, able to advance the ball. And they are on the 19-yard line. 1st down for Black Hills State. Fort Lewis needs a turnover here.
Anderson is ready. There's a snap, handoff to Nielsen. He hits the middle of the pile. They push the pile forward for a gain of 3, so it should bring up a 2nd down and 7. And it's been a fairly clean called game up to this point. Not a whole lot of flags, but now here in the second half, they seem to just be flying.
There's been 10 penalties for the whole game, and unfortunately, misopportune penalties for Fort Lewis, at least on this drive.
Anderson with the ball. He's trying to read the defensive end. He keeps the ball in the stomach of his running back, number 20, Harrison Dollins.
Well, number 35 for Fort Lewis, Ryan Ross, did a good job because he broke down from the end of the line. The quarterback couldn't decide whether to hand the ball off or to keep it, and Ryan Ross made that decision for him. There was no way he was going to go anywhere on that particular play. We've got 3rd down, about 8 here. 7:06 left in the 4th quarter. Another nail-biter for Fort Lewis.
Anderson in the backfield by himself. He's got some pressure. He's going to scramble around, throws it, and completes it to his tight end, and he fumbles the football. It's picked up by an offensive lineman, and they're going to lose maybe a yard, possibly 2, on the play.
Well, that was the interesting play there. I didn't even know if he actually caught the ball. It happened so fast. The linesman said that it was a fumble. It's going to be 4th down. They're going to try for a long field goal here, and this is going to be tricky. The wind is blowing from the west to east across the field. They're on the 18-yard line. It's going to be a 35-yard attempt from the far hash, and we'll see what they do here. I'm going to bet that he's not going to make this, Albert.
Number 41, Christian Parr. He's a freshman kicker, 6'5", 180 pounds. Is lining up to kick. He nods. He's ready. There's a snap. The hold. The kick is up. It's low. It's a line drive, and it's right through. And Black Hills State takes the lead, 17-14, with 5:59 left here in the 4th quarter. We'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio, the Four Corners in Durango.
Our winner is Cardell McCabe.
disappointing if Fort Lewis can't get some momentum here. This is a game that they expected to win, should win, as the kickoff begins with Thaddeus Brown picking up the ball and running it back.
10, 15, 20, 25, and all sorts of penalties come flying in from about 15 yards away. We'll see how that transpires, and while they get this worked out, we'll be right back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango. Penalties, 2 different fouls on the field. We had a block in the back, which was declined, and then we had a holding, and that penalty was accepted. So Fort Lewis will start just shy of the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 21. First down and 10 as they trail this game 17-14. And Jordan Doyle and his offense have got to get something going right now as that handoff went to number 3, Amory Duncan. He may have picked up a yard, and really we have not seen number 16 DeJuan Wesley this entire game.
Yeah, I mean he's been in a few times, but you're right. You know, he's not been on in a significant amount of plays, and Fort Lewis has got to do something. I mean, 5:28 left, second down and 8. Something's got to crack here for Fort Lewis.
Here's a rollout play action pass completed to the tight end, number 23 Van Vliet. He got stuck right at the end of the play, but not after he picks up a badly needed first down for Fort Lewis, and that'll move the chains. First down and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Oh, that was a good tackle by their safety, Luke Jensen. But Fort Lewis gets a first down, keeps the drive alive. That's what we need to do here. Got a heavy set, one back, two tight ends, excuse me.
Duncan gets a handoff, and he's going to be hit in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards. So that brings up second down and 13 now for Fort Lewis from the 30-yard line.
Well, games are won on execution on first down, and you know, going backwards on first down just makes it that much more difficult. 4:50 left, second down and 13. Fort Lewis has got to get something going here. They need this first down in order to stay in this game and pull out a victory.
Time is running off the clock, obviously, for Fort Lewis. They've got to get moving. They trail this game 17-14. There's a big play catch to number 88, Aaron Holt. What did we say earlier, Rick? Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and Jordan Doyle did just that. First down, Fort Lewis.
Well, Aaron Holt looks about the same size as Doyle Bodie, and a little crossing pattern, gets it upfield. That was a huge pickup for Fort Lewis. We've got first down on the 45-yard line, 4:15 left in the fourth quarter.
Doyle with the 3-step drop. He's looking downfield. He's going to swing it out to Duncan. And that is completed. Still fighting for yards, and they have not blown the whistle, where earlier they had blown the whistle a little bit early on a possible fumble. They let this play transpire, and Duncan's able to pick up an extra yard. That's a high percentage play for Fort Lewis.
It is, and those are the kinds of things that get confidence for the quarterback, and you get isolation out of the backfield, one-on-one with the defensive back, and good pickup there. Second down and 4, 3:38 left in the fourth quarter.
Doyle fake handoff play action. He rolls out. He's going to tuck it. He's going to run. He's going to have the first down as he gets pushed out of bounds. And a first down, so they're going to mark him around the 43-yard line. So first down and 10 there for Fort Lewis.
There's officials timeout. Injured player for Black Hill State. Why don't we go over some sponsors here? And this is the people that make it all happen. Their contributions, generous contributions. We have the Hampton Inn, Papa Murphy's and Subway, Walmart, Southwest Ag, Sodexo, Steamworks, Strader Hotel, Wells Fargo Bank, Your Running Store, Coca-Cola of Durango, Durango Orthopedic Associates, Mercy Regional Medical Center, Bank of Colorado, CJ's Diner, Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, Durango Motor Company, Morehart.
The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs, it's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face.
Doyle gets the nod that it's good to go, so he gets to the line of scrimmage. Looking over the defense, he calls an audible to his lineman, sets himself back up. There's a snap. That's a handoff to his running back, number 3, Amory Duncan, and he's able to pick up 4 yards, so it brings up 2nd down and 6.
Time is ticking. 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Fort Lewis has got the ball on the 39-yard line of Black Hills State. Score is 17-14. Fort Lewis is moving the ball. They're taking their time here and need to pick up a couple more first downs, so they go for a field goal. Be a long kick, but Fort Lewis's field goal kicker, Castana, has shown that he can do it.
Bodie goes into motion, then it's a swing out pass to him, and he catches it. He's going to pick up the first down as he picks up 8 yards, and then he's hit out of bounds. They're going to mark him out right at the 30-yard line. So nice play for Fort Lewis, drawing up something different. Helps him out there on that play.
Well, all the way in motion across the field, and the quarterback, Jordan Doyle, looks at him, picks him up in the flat. He picks up about 7-8 yards. Ball's on the 30-yard line of Black Hill State. Fort Lewis moving, 2:24 left here in the fourth quarter.
Doyle with the snap, handoff to his running back Duncan, who cuts back up behind the center. The play was designed to go behind the tackle. That hole was filled in, so Duncan with a nice cutback picks up 4 yards.
Boy, they're using a lot of time here, Albert. I mean, 2:03 left on the clock, and just doesn't seem like there's a sense of urgency on Fort Lewis to get this play off. You know, they can't be too patient here. Their time's gonna go away from them to have an opportunity to get the ball in.
One of the scary things is if they go for a field goal, there's a throw downfield intended for number 19, Nova Hardy. He had a beat on the covering cornerback, but the safety filled in right at the last second, so it's incomplete. But Rick, I was getting to the point is, if they don't pick up this first down, and they desperately need to get closer if they're playing just to kick a field goal, they're kicking into the wind.
Kicking into the wind, and a little bit in their face, and going from east to west. It's a pretty strong breeze. The flag's sticking straight out, and we need to get a first down here. We got 3rd down and 6 on the 33-yard line. Definitely need to get it closer.
They blitz. It's a quick swing out pass to Duncan. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that play is going nowhere. They actually lost 4 yards on the play. This is going to bring up a 4th down, and this is a big decision from John L. Smith to either kick the field goal or go for it on 4th down. It looks like they're bringing out number 96, Kip Castana.
Well, Kip Castana told me that he's kicked a 63-yarder in practice. This is going to be a 43-yard kick from the hash mark closest to Fort Lewis bench. That's unfortunate. That's 6 yards that they lost on that. Is going to make a big difference here. We'll see what he can do. 58 seconds left.
There's a snap. The hold. The kick is up. It's got plenty of leg, but it is just wide left. No good. 17-14 is the score. Black Hills leads this game. And, you know, you can't really blame Castana on that kick, Rick. Like you said, Fort Lewis didn't show any kind of sense of urgency to get upfield. It almost felt like they were okay to set up to kick the field goal, and instead they ended up losing 5 yards on the last play to put it 5 yards further back.
Yeah, and you sort of have to question a little bit their play selection there. I mean, you want to get the ball down the field, and that's not really what happened. You know, they threw some swing passes, had some success on that. This is unfortunate. I mean, Fort Lewis, they had over 380 yards of offense today. to Black Hills 265. 392 yards of offense for Fort Lewis. To walk away with a loss is just a killer if, in fact, that's what happens.
There's a snap handoff to the running back number 2. That's Nielsen, and really all Black Hills has to do now is hold on to the football. They need to pick up one more first down. And that's going to be a timeout, so we'll take a timeout ourselves and be back on 9:30 a.m. ESPN Radio for the Four Corners in Durango.
Meet Dan. He owned a dog biscuit company, but Dan wanted more. So Fast Signs created a plan to raise Dan's business visibility. Now Dan has more sales, more stores, more of the good life. And more is what Fast Signs delivers. More than fast, more than signs.
Well, it certainly looks that way, and what Kip Castano was able to do 2 weeks ago on a dry field, not able to do here today. This is about a 45-yard field goal. Fort Lewis has held him to 3rd down and 3, stopping the clock with 42 seconds left. And, it's not looking good for Fort Lewis right now. I know Coach is going to be disappointed because this is a game clearly they dominated. 392 yards of total offense. 265 yards for Black Hills State. Fort Lewis had 8 penalties for 66 yards. A lot of those on that last drive, and that's what killed them. That's what gave them field position. We had a pass interference penalty and a holding penalty on defense, and that gave them the momentum to kick that field goal and take a lead, 17-14. It's really unfortunate for Fort Lewis. I think this is a game that easily should have won. I know Coach Smith is going to be a little bit disappointed, especially after playing so well. Adams State, Chadron State, even though they lost, they felt good. They beat Western State. They were on a little bit of a roll there, and this puts them back a little bit.
Well, and to be completely honest, this has been a complete turnaround of this program this year with John L. Smith, as that's a first down, and that should ice this game. 14-17 as there's 30 seconds left on the clock. You see some of the players out on the field. They are disappointed.
That's a tough way for the seniors to go out. 17 seniors. Let's just read these off real quick, if it's okay with you, Albert. Jamal Campbell, Dylan Sterling, Micah Young, Drew Smith, Terry Perkins, Thaddeus Brown, Jordan Van Vliet, Scotty Gallardo, Lance Detmer, Broderick Sargent, Joseph Kenny, Joey Alvarez, Evan Wagstrom, Doyle Bodie, Jordan Benton, Drew Berryhill, and Aaron Holt. Pretty talented group of young men, and I know this isn't the way they want to go out. You can see they're very dejected on the field. But boy, too bad for Fort Lewis. Let's don't take away the fact, though, that they had 5 victories this year, 0 last year, and huge improvement this year from last year. You can see the level of play, the coaching, the players, and it's just real tough for Fort Lewis to take this loss after dominating the game.
Well, Black Hills State's just going to take a knee, and really that should run the clock out. They shouldn't have to run another play, and Fort Lewis is going to move to 4-7 on the season as the clock continues to run. Black Hills State will move to 2-7 on the season. And that's going to conclude this 2013 football season here at Fort Lewis. New head coach John L. Smith getting this program turned around. As you've said a number of times though, Rick, this is a very young football team. They're going to come back next year with a ton of experience and a different attitude.
Well, they're going to have a ton of experience. A lot of them got it last year. They're all freshmen. They're going to be able to recruit. Coach Smith told me about some young guns that he's got coming up, freshmen, and And it's going to be an interesting season next year to see what happens with this team. You can see them moving in the right direction, though, and certainly they have the right man at the helm of Fort Lewis football going forward.
Organic vitamins and supplements and health and beauty products, there's no better place than Nature's Oasis. We offer an experienced staff, nutrition and supplement education, and exclusive products. Nature's Oasis, home to the largest selections of vitamins and supplements in the Four Corners region.
I chose Fort Lewis for a variety of reasons. Because I knew that I was going to major in business, I liked that they had an international option. Students have a lot of flexibility to combine programs through majors and minors, double majors, and double degrees. I have a major in international business as well as Latin American Spanish. I chose these majors because I thought it would open doors in a way that I could enjoy traveling as well as maintaining a successful career. The programs are led by PhDs who are recognized in their fields and top-ranked, measured by accreditations, faculty publications, and honors, alumni outcomes, and employer testimonials. I am more sure about my future than I ever have been, and I think I couldn't have done it without Fort Lewis and the guidance from the professors and the classroom style that we have here.
The Sporting News Grill at the new Holiday Inn and Suites of Durango is now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs, it's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face. Come check out what's new at the Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort. We now have single and double-deck blackjack games. Enjoy our King of the Cage boxing events year-round at our events center. If you're on the go, take a break at the new Ute Mountain Travel Center. With our valet service, you can arrive in style and get right into the action. Visit us for our Saturday prime rib buffet and our seafood buffet on Fridays. With the largest gaming floor in the area, Ute Mountain Casino Hotel and Resort has all the great games you love to play.
Don't have a lot to say other than, we go from doing everything right in the first quarter, not being able to do anything wrong. We're just up and down the field to doing everything wrong and give the game away. But I have to look at that game, and again, it comes back to us as coaches and me as the head coach. And I'm the most embarrassed I've probably ever been in my coaching career, because they outcoached us, and that's the sad part. So our kids tried, they played hard, but we got to go get better.
And just what, if anything, I mean, like you said, you guys were moving the ball crisply and everything in the first quarter. It just seemed like a couple of turnovers kind of derailed your momentum. You had the ball deep in their territory, and you had the sack strip fumble, and then
it's been the story of our year, really, the turnovers, fumbling the ball, throwing interceptions in the end zone. You can't do that and win any kind of games. So as I look at it, we're going to have to. Recruiting is a big issue right now. We've got to go find some guys that can play the game.
Yeah, and what was working so successfully for you guys in the first quarter? It just seemed like the passing was accurate. I mean, the running game was going.
The running game was good. We were coming off. And we try to take pride in working hard and telling our guys that we have to wear them out. We have to continue to run the ball. And I told our football team going into this, I said, offensive front, this is on you guys. The team that can run the football is going to win this game. And at times we rent it, but they rent it to win. And that's why they won. And they were able to run it on our defense. If they're good enough to run the ball on our defense, I mean, they deserve to win. It's an embarrassment as a coach.
And what, if any, adjustments did they make maybe defensively in the second half? Because you guys had 134 yards rushing at halftime and only about 12 or so afterwards. Now.
Really not that much. They're showing us the same stuff. And they're bringing the pressures that we know that they're going to bring. And it wasn't like they changed game plans. They made a couple adjustments that we came out. We thought we had some answers for the second half. We just didn't execute.
Yeah. And how about the penalties? It wasn't so much maybe the sheer number of them as it just seemed like they're, particularly on that drive where they got the field goal, they just seemed to come at the worst possible time for you guys.
Third down hold, third down PI. Yeah. And that has to come back on us. And if they're not coached better than that they can't hold, that they can't PI, then that's our fault.
Just impressions generally. I mean, on the season, what are you looking at as positives, and then negatives? You mentioned going out and hitting the recruiting trail, which is obviously important. I mean, just maybe general thoughts on the season as a whole when it comes to.
Well, as I look at, number one, I look at it and I look at the games. Not necessarily the games we won, but the games that I feel we should have won. Even going back to last week with Chadron, there's 6 plays in that ball game that if we do a better job on our end, we win that ball game, or at least we're in it to the very end. I mean, there's 28 stupid points that we give away because we're not doing our job. So I look at us, and I look in the mirror, and I say, we've got to do a better job. We've got to get our kids to play over their head and better than they are.